I call it
Group
family.
thing.
You ever think of that?
I don't know. Is it family in like the way that like a company is like, we're all family here?
Okay, yeah. no, it's more of a found family kind of thing.
Yeah, it is for sure. So many of these people, like you become regulars at these lands, and like for sure. Oh man, our match is starting. Maybe I could talk about more about this later. But right now, we're seeing Fuego Calamari once again going up against hottest Dawgs this time, fighting their way through losers semifinals. We are seeing, ooh, the range blaster coming out and the double cooler. You see that?
Wait a minute. Oh, okay. Interesting, yeah.
We are preparing ourselves for the fastest comp in the West, but the range blaster is going to be getting shut down immediately by Gabe, who, might I add, is himself on a range blaster this time.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I was gonna say, I noticed that Gabe was switched from the sword to the blaster. Very interesting. Perhaps that has something to do with either the team they're going up against or maybe just the way the stage works. But either way, ooh, and Bread seems to have been taken down by Cactus. Cactus trying to grab as much momentum as he can to get in for a throw of that Super Clam.
Oh, successfully able to dive away into the pit there, creating a successful distraction. Eon going down. Fuego Calamari really holding up their plat right here. Gabe with the Kraken this time,
with
going
two
in.
Super Clams going in for the goal. They have scored 40 points. Well, +3.
Oh, it keeps on ticking down though. And look, see that again, that special stagger, that Kraken coming out and then spaced out by the strikes. Fuego Calamari is a team that really knows special utilization.
Yeah, they really know how to apply that pressure when everything really counts when everything counts towards pushing for the objective. There we go. Nailed it.
Now it looks like the gambit is finally over, down to 30. Pretty tough score to beat, but I don't know if you saw that little stagger. 3 going down on the side of Fuego Calamari. Hottest Dawgs is preparing themselves to make what I'm presuming will be a really, really aggressive push here. Carrot getting the power clam here, not able to get the opening in quite yet. The Zuka going down, really inopportune moment for that.
As Fuego Calamari holds their defensive perimeter, they seem to have completely locked out Hottest Dawgs from being able to get any further into their base, and in fact, pushing them back into theirs.
Just as they got in, they were pushed back out, and I have to wonder, when you have 2 coolers on your team, that's 1 less special for retake that you have. So I have to wonder that by relying on the aggression of their main weapons, if Hottest Dawgs will be able to pull through doing that alone and not relying on specials.
Right, yeah, it does limit their aggressive capabilities, and unfortunately, I can't keep up with all the names. Everyone's being taken out one by one.
We're seeing a bit of a reset back to neutral here as both teams feud for their specials. Vic hanging back with the power clam, doesn't really want to draw attention to himself right now. Oh, Eon is going to
still
dive
goes
in,
down
taking
anyway.
the pick though with the try.
Yeah, there's not really much of a reason for Fuego to push too hard.
Bread running down Red there. That is a really valuable pick. Definitely, I think, teams going up against Fuego.
Gabe has been taken out as well by Bread, and the cooler is out. The stats are up. The jumps are super, and Vic is down as well as Cactus.
The staggered white.
And Gabe!
Nice! Getting them the basket there, able to finally potentially catch up. They're going to need a little more clams on deck, though. Who is going to keep that basket open? 2 going down. Finally taking advantage of that double cooler.
Hottest Dawgs taking lead! Finally taking advantage of the aggression that they have been pushing for them, that they've been suppressing so far.
That was an incredible comeback, an incredible push. Fuego Calamari going back in a position here. It might be a little bit of an uphill battle to climb, but Hottest Dawgs is able to keep up that momentum though.
Forcing Fuego in order to have to push, in order to get any bit close to a lead now.
Nice. I like that over the course of this game, they have been really consistent with scaring Red away.
Yeah,
because Red is scary. Red is very scary. The triple there from Carrot. Crazy on the heavy head. And the Zuka coming out. I don't think, do they have the Clam economy? Yes, they do.
Finally leading into their aggressive play style.
Are going to lock them out from the push that they want.
They're finally leaning into that aggressive play style we said that they probably didn't have.
The
Gabe getting a double with 1 shot of that blaster, really going to show how strong that weapon is. Cooler out, finally. Fuego's going in to push for another goal opening.
Gabe waiting for the right opportunity, but the flank with the range blaster coming in from behind for the pincer. Able to get a very valuable pick there. Oh,
Unfortunately, they weren't.
Calamari not able to capitalize on that push as much as they wanted, and they're already on the other side of the map.
Yeah, unfortunately, while they were able to score a single super clam, they were not able to take advantage
get rid of the penalty.
of that opportunity. And with the Kraken out, it seems all but not, unless they were able to find some way.
Wow.
Unfortunately, they were not.
Oh my goodness. The double cooler worked out.
Hottest Dogs taking the first game from a very surprise comeback victory from Clam Blitz on Scorch Gorge.
That was a really, really fun watch, and I have to wonder how Fuego will come to counter this hyper-aggressive playstyle. Did you see just non-stop staggering of picks from Hottest Dogs? That was so crazy to watch.
Yeah, we really underestimated the double cooler because from what we assumed, like, oh, that's just one less special that they have to push in with. But somehow they were able to make it work. They very much focused on their main weapons to apply those pressures.
Yeah, just because they had cooler up all the time, you take down one and they come right back no matter what. So how exactly do you counter that, especially on a map like Splat Zone's Hammerhead, which is pretty infamous for being very snowballing?
A lot of people have been saying that is the Bluefin zones for this event, even though we don't have Bluefin zones at this event, which Piku keeps pushing.
I mean, we did. He snuck it in.
Okay, that is true. I'm talking about, like, you know, on the record, you know.
On the record. Oh.
Regardless, this is going to be an interesting match for sure. Seeing like how Fuego just like if I were to assume, they probably like took it a little easy, like, oh, we have the advantage, just, you know, play defense. They can't really like take advantage, which of course they did, and they paid for it. And yeah, hopefully they're able to come back from this and try to act in a more aggressive manner themselves, or at least like have more area control, whichever suits their fancy.
I definitely think with their level of experience, Fuego Calamari is absolutely no stranger to needing to adapt when the situation calls for it.
Oh, absolutely.
And with their really paint-heavy comp, they have a cooler of their own. They're not like stacking them on top of each other like Hottest Dogs is opting for this hyper-aggro playstyle. Right. But I definitely think Fuego has the tools at their disposal and the mechanical skill in order to potentially make a comeback. We shall see.
And we shall see right now as the Hammerhead Zones starts its match now. And as we can see, Gabe has gone back to the sword. He's not messing around this time.
Absolutely not. Probably doesn't want to take any more chances. So he's pulling out the big guns right now. Other than that, no real significant changes. We are still seeing the double cooler on the side of Hottest Dogs.
I was gonna say, yeah, sticking to that double cooler strategy seems to be working out. Oh, and as we can see with that stray Zuka, they absolutely are making it worthwhile.
For sure.
Contesting that zone, taking it back.
That double cooler means that they keep their specials on death as well. So be prepared to see that Zuka alive.
Right, as Comet goes up on ledge to grab a kill with the blaster on Gabe. Strikes coming out from Cactus.
Insane.
Yes.
For sure.
They seem to be holding zones pretty well. And as the Kraken has come out, taking out Cactus and running back to mid, we can see that there is absolutely not a very easy lean-in for Fuego to find some opening.
Gabe does have that zip on deck. The Zuka going down, that is big, assuming that they don't immediately come right back. But Gabe saving that zip to going down. All the
and with the
specials
zip
are
coming out, Gabe
out.
is absolutely going out for blood. Unfortunately, it did not work out.
Oh, man. We are
with the soda can and the soda pop coming out. Got popped out of the ground. We can see that, yeah, as Fuego has taken back the zone and Hottest Dogs is trying to work their way back to zones, there's a lot of contention here right in front of mid.
Yeah. Fuego able to hold it up for now. Hottest Dawgs does have their specials coming out, though. Gabe with that zip ready. Once again, coolers coming out on both sides this time. Gabe going down, that is pretty big. That
Hottest
means no
Dawgs
zip
taking
count.
back the zone with, I can't pronounce that name.
Ooh, that was huge. Whatever just happened there up there.
Yeah. Strikes coming out once again from Cactus, and Zeret is once again peeking right over it.
Let's take a moment to look at the point deficit. 41 to 43 going down on the side of Hottest Dawgs. I blinked and everybody passed away.
Yeah, even though that deficit is huge, they have worked their way right back to making it even, and in fact, taking advantage. If they're able to get past that, they will be in lead.
I'm noticing that both sides really, or at least Fuego, they're pushing up when they get advantage, but never really pushing up too far. I think that they are trying to employ a defensive, wait for them to come to you type of deal.
And with that, Fuego is once again taking the
aggro.
lead. With Comet coming out with the Kraken trying to grab Gabe. It did not work out and has retreated.
His own, though. Oh, it's a valuable pick. Oh, the edit going down. That is a lot of paint lost, unfortunately. The edit is kind of the main paint output of Hottest Dawgs. So without it, it can be difficult for them to take dome, but they are able to do it, able to flip once again.
Unfortunately, Hottest Dawgs all seem to have gotten targeted by that wave breaker, making them easy targets. And unfortunately, even though Gabe was able to take advantage of that, that led to him going down, but Cactus was able to pick up the slack.
For sure, holding this angle, the strikes at the ready, waiting for the perfect opportunity, not getting picked off in the process, luckily, as Red's wave comes out, making it easier for them to get the picks that they want to hold the zone here. The Kraken coming out to counter that attempt, but Fuego is successfully able to hold the zone. Very valuable pick there. Goes down in the process, though.
Cactus going in for a nice bit of kills, but unfortunately he was only able to get one out of that. Eon coming in to their base to try and push for advantage because they really need to make up for this lost time.
Yeah, Eon, the very slippery snail right now, able to stay alive through that engagement, but nobody can escape the watchful eye of Red.
Right.
We will see if they're able to
putting down the pressure with all those charge shots. Again, bringing out the scope, and Wave has been deployed.
Gabe, ooh, what's Gabe doing over here?
To be
going in for the flank on the blaster.
Wow.
Crazy.
Didn't even see it coming.
Didn't
Gabe
even
going,
see it coming.
attempting to go into their side in order to go for more devastation. Instead goes for
Zip
the
coming
soda,
out,
and then
catches
brings
them
up the
through-
zip, getting a kill. But at what cost?
At what cost? Oh, I'm just noticing, like, we've barely left mid. Like, nobody is pushing up too far. This is such a scary map.
Both teams seem pretty even, that they don't seem to be letting the other get too far ahead. And so with the patience from both sides, it seems that they're at a standstill for each other. And with Hottest Dawgs taking the zone yet again, they have this chance in overtime to potentially take back the lead.
Down on the side of Fuego.
With
Three
Vic down,
from the
it is
Kraken,
not looking
finally
good for
going down.
Fuego.
Oh, will they be able to flip the strikes?
Oh,
Cactus
with
by
Cactus
himself.
on his own,
getting
carrying
one
the
pick,
team
getting
to
one pick.
victory.
Oh.
Unfortunately not! Hottest Dawgs clutching it out at the very end!
Wow.
That was absolutely insane!
That was crazy. That entire game, just like everybody cooped up in Hammerhead's ultra claustrophobic mid. At the end, they made the push Fuego Calamari, but it just wasn't enough to break through Hottest Dawgs.
I am at awe with just the absolute skill on display from both teams with how close that game was from like start to finish. It didn't really feel like anyone had too big of an advantage.
Just non-stop picks going down on both sides, and I think that Hottest Dawgs, because of that double cooler, just had the little bit of edge because they just kept coming back.
Unfortunately for Fuego Calamari, the pressure is as high as it possibly can be, as they have to win the next 3 games in a row if they want to proceed beyond losers semis.
That's right. If they lose here, then it's all over. Game over, out of the bracket, go home. You have no shot at the championship now. So it's all on the line. I think that the problem is that they haven't been doing enough Macarenas.
That is true. Maybe if they had a little more Macarena practice, maybe they could have turned it around.
They got to charge up their Macarena energy to perform at their ultimate ability.
Yeah. We have up next a personal favorite of mine, Tower Control on Hagglefish Market.
It's because of the Reef Slider cheese, isn't it?
Maybe I just happened to prefer Tower Control just because my weapon seems to be more suited towards it. And also Hagglefish is a very good map for TC in general.
I think the blaster on Hottest Dawgs coming out on TC Haggle could be a menace for Fuego.
It does make you wonder if Gabe will pull out the blaster yet again for this match, or if they'll just stick with their guts, stick with sword, maybe like have Zip go in while someone else is on tower. That could also be an interesting option.
I don't know if Fuego wants to afford to go out of their comfort zone right now, is what I'm thinking.
Then again, Kraken could be nice if you don't mind getting pushed off just a little bit.
Red could also go Kraken instead, though, if they need a Kraken.
That is true. And as we start this game, we can see that, yes, Gabe has indeed brought out the blaster.
The blaster is back, baby. Other than that, nothing really different here. Both teams sticking to their guns. We'll just have to see if the Blaster v Blaster 1v1s are going to come out. I hope they do. Would be fun to watch.
Right. Double cooler in tower control can be very interesting, considering that you can use the tower to get rid of said cooler. And it seems that both teams are actually planning on that. They're very similar strategies. I'm very impressed with like how similar this is already.
Front line heavy at it, baby.
Yeah, with like not even just only 30 seconds in, how similar they are both reacting to each other. And with all of that death and destruction in mid, and Eon going down to red through the snipe. Once again, bringing out the scope. I guess, really enjoyed having the scope on those more wide open zones.
For sure. Haggle is definitely a map that gives someone like Red a lot of space. You can perch up on the tent, you can hang out in the switch on the ramp. You have a lot of flexibility in terms of where you position and are able, and plus the huge mountains of cover in mid.
I gotta say, like no one has really pushed the tower that much. Okay, that was cool. But like no one has pushed the tower at all. They are at a complete standstill.
I think Fuego,
Cactus going in for kills, getting one strikeout. Will it be enough to deter them?
Hottest Dawgs has the advantage,
not seem
but it
so.
takes them a bit to finally push the tower. There we go.
With that, Hottest Dawgs have taken the lead and pushing to the first check.
Ooh, that was the Blaster 1v1.
Wow.
Gabe came out on top that time.
And the Blaster taking Brett down and taking down the Tri before going down by the Tri.
That's really impressive. Winning fights that close as range is seriously impressive, for sure.
Indeed. With Cactus taking the L on that one, Red having to jump back because everyone else is just not able to secure that.
Not able to get anything off of those picks there. Hottest Dawgs still continues to push the tower.
That box scared me.
Gabe is in a really good spot here, though. Successfully able to. I'm not entirely sure who got those picks. So much death and destruction just happened.
Gabe
like, right
taking out
screen.
Comet. Going into their base, trying to get even more kills, trying to poke Bread, trying to poke whoever is on top of. Man,
this is a really good spot as Blaster. Poking people through that little hole, that's so much fun.
It is such an easy, it is such an easy part of the map to just try and cheese kills out of. And using the wave as a wall to protect yourself from incoming fire. Taking Eon out again. Red is proving to be a master of the leader.
Absolutely incredible.
Going up on top to throw down a mine, taking lead back for Fuego Calamari.
Nice! 3 down there, 2-all. Things are starting to turn around for Fuego Calamari, finally getting an opportunity to hold themselves up in their base. Not something they were able to do at all the last game.
And the Kraken followed Gabe, taking the bait just to secure that kill. Honestly, I don't know why they fell, considering them being in the lead doesn't really, there's nothing to have to force them out of. But it was an interesting bait.
Yeah. Tournament jitters get to you sometimes.
That is true.
We are seeing really good lead, secure lead from Fuego Calamari. We're seeing a reset back to neutral here. Hottest Dawgs, I would not count them out yet, though. These guys are scary.
Not. Considering what they were able to do game 1, I am not going to throw out any baseless accusations or judgment until I see that counter go down.
A little bit more of a back and forth trade. 2, 3 specials up on the side of Hottest Dawgs with the the crack. Oh, no
that
Zuka
was
though. No
quite
Zuka.
the exchange in bodies. With
Fuego
that,
getting those
with that,
picks.
Hottest Dawgs will try their best to push the tower as far as they can, playing it very safe, very respectable.
Yeah.
They have a lot of work. They're like, ooh. Considering that Fuego is twice as far as their score is, they are going to have to put in extra work if they want to even see advantage in this game.
And it looks like Fuego right now is getting the picks where it really counts with less than 40 seconds left on the board. Hottest Dawgs is going to have to pull out a miracle if they want to prevent the possible beginning of a reverse sweep.
If there was ever a time to push, it would probably be now. And it seems that someone has taken tower. Unfortunately, it did not last for long. And Comet in Kraken form is doing their best to escape and seems to have done so successfully.
I'm noticing we haven't seen a cooler come out in a while from Hottest Dawgs. They're missing their main push tool.
Yeah, you think with two weapons of cooler, there'd at least be one of them. Perhaps they
Finally, we see it go out, but I don't know. No,
Unfortunately,
the
it was
GG
not.
Strikes
It was
coming
not.
out
It was not meant to be.
secure the first victory in this set for Fuego Calamari.
Fuego Calamari putting themselves on the board, telling everyone here and at home, we are not done. We are not out. Do not count us out yet. We are still in this. We are playing Game 4. Crab Leg Capital Rainmaker.
For sure. This is definitely not a team that we wanted to see be sent home so soon, so I'm really glad that they put themselves in gear. They were able to take much more advantage of their pushes on that map than they were on Hammerhead zones. When they got that advantage, they were very, very patient with it. We were in neutral for a really, really long time. Lots of picks going down on both sides. I think that Fuego Calamari is learning to respect the fact that they can't just get picks and go because Hottest Dawgs will be right back. So they need to wait for the advantage point where they have all the picks and all the specials, all the positioning, and then when they have that, they go all in.
Right. As I said before, at the very beginning of that last game, they seem to have very similar strategies and seem to be playing very patiently on both sides, putting them both at very constant standstills where most of the match, not much progression is done on either side, so it just leaves like so much tension in the air. What is going to happen? Who is going to make the first push? Who's going to make the first move? What's going to happen? Who's going down? Who's taking names? Who's throwing out specials? And who is going to put down the soda so I can drink it?
I will say our next match is on Rainmaker Crab Leg. This is another really good blaster map.
Right, that's true. With all those grates and high bridges like hanging around, it is very easy to just poke people when they least expect it.
Boop, 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 boop. Your backline's dead. Sorry.
Boop. Oh, hang on. Boop. Okay, there we go.
Oh, this is really anybody's game.
Absolutely. If Fuego Calamari is able to take this game, then they are going to be able to push this to Game 5. And I gotta say, I really hope they take it to Game 5 because I want, like, even if they don't win this match, I want them to go as far as possible because I just want the best for that team.
Yeah, the most fun sets are the ones that come down to the wire. But
I
it's
should say
possible that Hottest
the best
Dawgs
for every team, by the way. I biases aside, best for every team.
Of course. We are not seeing pretty much any change in comp. Gabe going back to the Splatana, the Deco this time, the Nouveau, my mistake, with the Crab, which, true to its name, Crab is very, very good on Crab Leg Capital.
Yeah,
you have so many excellent positioning opportunities. Brett getting the Zuka already, able to get one pick down.
With the shield already down, it's only a matter of not when, but who is going to grab that Rainmaker. And it seems that Zarit has absolutely grabbed it, but unfortunately went down to Red's snipe from base.
Walking right into Red's line of sight. This is a great map.
This is exactly what we're talking about, the poking with the blaster.
Yeah. Oh, sitting under that ledge too. This ledge, because you get stuck up here at disadvantage, and then you just try to move forward. Boop,
and
boop,
that Crab
boop.
absolutely playing the defensive game in order to gain momentum and try to back up and go for attacks. Cactus going in, trying to grab whoever grabbed the Rainmaker. Get rid of Space moving too fast.
Eon hanging out in a very tricky space there, going into the pit for a second. I think that they know that nobody else is going to want to jump in that pit with them.
Right, and as they were so close to check, taking and securing their lead even further than they had already, Hottest Dawgs is now taking advantage in the lead, forcing Fuego Calamari to try and push back as hard as possible. Now, as they have broken the shield, it's only a matter of whether or not they choose to grab it or wait for it to reset.
For sure. I will say, on this map, the checkpoint is very linear. Like, you can go for the one on the sides, but otherwise you wipe people out, you usually just gun it straight forward. So this, if Fuego Calamari gets advantage, this will not be a hard lead to beat.
Right. As the Kraken comes up to try and find Gabe, it escapes after not having enough time. Gabe narrowly avoiding death from that bomb, going straight into a crab.
For sure, and that was a very valuable save in order to stop the Rainmaker right there.
That was a very nice kill from the crab on crab leg. Ain't that the truth? With the shield broken, Gabe has the opportunity to grab the Rainmaker, which he didn't. Instead, it was taken by Red. And Red seems to be taking the Rainmaker to push as far as possible, and it seems that they're going for the check on high. A very risky maneuver, but is probably worthwhile considering all of their team is like right there.
For sure. If you see that those side routes, those unpopular routes are open, you want to go for them, but Red is going to be going down in that engagement. Once again,
Cactus taking names once again, unfortunately going down to the Rainmaker explosion.
Once again, we are seeing a very, not stagnant, but a very well-positioned, maintaining of neutral here.
Picks going down to the edit, and so is Red!
I will say, though, maybe it's not a product of both teams.
And Cactus getting a taste of that, too.
This is
With
a pretty
that,
hard
the
map
check is secured, and Hottest Dawgs has now gotten halfway to their goal.
Yeah,
with the strikes coming out, it is now Fuego who has popped the shield, and it is up to them to see if they can make it to their own check if they want to secure this victory. Eon going down to something from Cactus. I assume it was a bomb?
Bomb.
Yeah, all right.
Fuego Calamari putting up the defense. This second half, getting it from that checkpoint to the goal is most certainly an uphill battle. It will be quite difficult and require quite a bit of an advantage.
Having the Kraken to deter the opposition from grabbing the Rainmaker, it unfortunately did not work, and in fact,
There
it seems that Fuego has secured that check and is just that much closer to potentially, getting the lead once more.
Oh, Cactus chasing down in that pit there. Not really somewhere that you want to be. The lead neck and neck with 1 minute left, 61-62. Fuego Calamari is going to have to figure out something if they want to stay in the game. Otherwise, they might be going home.
With the crab coming out once again, with strikes coming out to desperately pop open that shield. Gabe is doing something to get a kill on Red. That was quite the take.
Going for the reset. Going for the reset. They don't want that there. They don't want Fuego to be able to push it.
They want that thing as far away from that position as possible because they know 1 inch and they win.
For sure. This is a really, really scary position to begin. 25 seconds left on the clock, but they do have it. They're going to have to defend with their life defense.
And they have taken the lead! Fuego Calamari has once again taken lead, and with less than 20 seconds on the clock, it is up to Hottest Dawgs to secure that lead once again. Unfortunately, it is not looking very likely.
Getting the valuable picks.
Eon going down to the bomb on the Rainmaker shield.
Vic going down, though, giving them an opening. Overtime activating from Fuego Calamari.
This is Hottest Dawgs' last chance. If they don't want to game 5, they have to push. Unfortunately, they were not able to. We are going to game 5.
Game 5, losers semifinal. Final. Both teams fighting for their lives here. Oh my goodness. Absolutely exhilarating.
Oh, that's how you know it's a good match when we reach game 5. Ooh, and with the 2 in a row from both teams. Oh man, that scream got me lightheaded. with the back-to-back double takes from each team, it is very clear that this could be anyone's game at this point. It does seem that Fuego has adapted to Hottest Dawgs pretty well, but it is still clear that Hottest Dawgs is capable of taking advantage. As, like we saw in that last game, they were the first to gain lead, but they didn't end up winning. It was all about that patience, it was all about that positioning, all about that zone control. And with the last game of the loser semifinals, we have Clam Blitz on Mako Mart.
I think we're probably going to see Gabe switch back to Splatana here, fiending around in those alleys, trying to just get stray like flanks. Like, this is a really easy flank map. It's just like free flanks.
I feel like if using the Splatana Nouveau was a part of the oh my God, they're changing the lights out here. when the if the Nouveau Splatana was indeed a part of the countermeasures that they took, maybe we can expect to see that again. Maybe, like, I could probably assume that this would be a really good map for Crab to thrive on. There are definitely very nice positions with, like, some cover that it could easily take advantage of.
At the same time, though, I feel like vanilla Splatana might be the play. I think that Zip would be a easier option to get all up in Mako's plat. On Clams, Mako plat near the spawn has quite a bit of cover, and Crab might not be able to get through in the ways that it wants to. Or also, like, having the mobility, like not being able to move up with pushes when you pop it. I think that Zip will be more likely to give them the mobility that they need.
That is true. Honestly, you can't go wrong with either weapon, to be fair.
Both these teams have learned to respect each other, so let's see who comes out on top
once again,
in the
Hottest
final
Dawgs
round.
with their usual comp, and would you look at that, Gabe has gone back to the Blaster.
The Blaster, I was certainly not expecting that, but I do suppose that the Blaster is really good on this map for keeping control of the stacks and making sure that people can't group up too much under the basket.
Yeah. With the Kraken being able to go around walls and go...
Ooh! Clean from Red,
that was
as
very
always.
Nice. And they take a body right back themselves. Vic going in with the super, getting in the goal, taking the lead already, not even 30 seconds into this game.
Absolutely crazy, but I don't know if they're going to be able to get anything else off of that. And off of that, Hottest Dawgs is going to be able to get a Pity Clam and Kraken almost on the board. It might give them an opportunity that Fuego Calamari might not want to have.
Being able to take advantage this early in the game is very imperative, as it applies pressure to them that they can easily crack under, as well as giving Fuego the excuse to play a lot more defensively and passively in order to secure themselves. Unfortunately, Cactus didn't get the memo, and they, the Hottest Dawgs, will be grabbing the Super Clam and taking lead.
Able to take full advantage of that opportunity that they were given. Fuego Calamari diving in on them, not able to get any more off of that afterwards. Ooh, 3 down! Cactus with the triple, crazy work. Pretty decent lead, but...
Once again, this is a perfect example of both of these teams going back and forth. They are just perfectly equal. It is just a matter of who gets more lucky. And would you look at that? Red out there with the perfect snipe and with the wave as well and the cooler.
I'm just realizing Gabe is on Vanilla Blaster. They have double wave breaker right now.
Oh, that was double wave breaker. I thought I saw it. I thought I was just seeing something.
Yeah.
That is very true.
Yeah, interesting, because Wave Breaker is a very underutilized special. A lot of people don't think it has very much merit, but in such a narrow map as Mako, I think that when you're constantly having people tagged, it can be hard to jump over those waves and keep track of them. Yeah, it might be able to get the picks that they want.
Yeah, Wave usually tends to be a lot better when stacked with more Wave, as it is a lot harder to avoid even just one of them if they're used at the same time. Unfortunately, Vic will be going down to the bomb, and that is a wipeout from Fuego, from Hottest Dawgs on Fuego Calamari. They will be absolutely taking another goal with the Super Clam.
Probably want to go looking at more clams right now, but Fuego Calamari able to get the picks to scare them away successfully. Hottest Dawgs does have the lead, but still 2 minutes left in the game. Fuego Calamari has plenty of time to turn it around.
Having increased their lead so much more, it just means that there's way much more pressure.
Nice!
On Calamari to grab even more of a lead. And with that, they are going to throw out 2 supers at once!
Beautiful
And a
sure. The double wave giving them the cover underneath the basket to get those few extra clams in. That was the strat. I think that...
With Cactus grabbing 2 more clams, going in for more throws. They are at a score of 15. All they need is 5 more clams.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, it does not seem that they will be able to do so.
But still, absolutely incredible lead. Not unbeatable. Certainly not by Hottest Dawgs based on what we've seen so far, but...
Yeah, as we said, it can be anyone's game. If Fuego Calamari can make a comeback like that, then Hottest Dawgs are just as easily capable of making any kind of comeback if they so get the opportunity. And as Gabe goes down to Zuka, and Bread is applying much more pressure by shooting over the ledge, it gives Comet the chance to throw another super and throw more clams in order to gain back advantage for themselves, and they're so close!
The Kraken cancel, that is huge. 3 going down. I don't think anybody else is left in order to push the basket any further. And that gives Fuego Calamari a pity. And they're starting to stack up those specials for what could be the final push of this game.
Yeah, as we've seen, it can still be anyone's game if they're able to make a push like that. Cactus grabbing those clams so that Hottest Dawgs could not grab any more and secure that the barrier gets reset.
For sure.
And it looks like that
right
Fuego has got
noses.
another barrier broken.
Somebody must have sneaked through that right alley. I didn't even catch a whiff of it. But they have to.
They just have to throw just enough more.
14, 11. Oh,
unfortunately, they got to wipe out. There is no way to get any more clams for.
Absolutely down to the wire. They have the power. They're getting to get the specials. They have the Zuka.
They're closing it. We got 5 seconds left on the timer. They get one last chance to take this game. And would you look at that? It's over! Hottest Dawgs has taken this game, and with that have won the Losers Semifinals and is going on to Losers Finals.
Oh my goodness, heading on to Losers Finals. Fuego Calamari put up an amazing fight with amazing adaptation, but Hottest Dawgs was able to come out on top, proving their mechanical ability and their aggressive fast play style was indeed for the better, helping them progress to Losers Finals.
Yes, I gotta say, that was the most back and forth game I've probably ever seen out of Splatoon. It was just constantly like, they're in the lead, no, they're in the lead, and it started as early as like the first few seconds of the game. It was just non-stop action from both sides, and I gotta say, while it is unfortunate that Fuego was not able to get past Losers, it is very commendable that they were able to make it this far, and on Game 5, no less.
For sure. I definitely will say, as much as we love Fuego, I'm pretty happy to see some newer blood rising up into the Losers Finals and potentially taking it all. I would really like to see more from Eon, more from Bread, more from these players, because clearly they are very coordinated and very